What is up, everyone? I'm Oblivio with IMA Video, and this is my very first Minecraft world. I haven't played this world in about 6 to 8 months, ever since it came out for the Xbox One and they had the update that included hoppers and droppers. And I'm kind of afraid to load this world up again because a lot of the redstone broke, and I'm not sure if any of the items that I built are still working. Now, I originally made this video to show my little brother Kevin what I was doing in Minecraft. He was a big Minecraft fan. He kept telling me to get it, and when I finally did and started playing it, I decided to give him an idea of what I've been doing on the game, because he plays on computer and I play on the console, and so they don't exactly work well together. And I did the standard stuff that everyone does in survival. I built into a mountain and eventually turned into this castle here. I didn't originally want to turn out that way, it just kind of happened. I just wanted to stop the spiders from getting into my areas, and it went from a fence to a wall to a castle wall. It was just a slow evolution of the whole process. It didn't start out like this. I didn't originally want it to be like this, but that's how it ended up. So a lot of the stuff you're going to see in this video are redstone devices from other people, from tutorials. Like I said, this is my first world. I really didn't know how to play Minecraft in the beginning, and I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn how to use the redstone especially. And so I will include links in the description for all the people I used: FedEx Gaming, Overlook DNT. Those were the two big ones. Some of the ones I used for architecture were Jarcraft, a little bit of Lord Dacker, and Corrales at one point for inspiration. So the first redstone you're going to see after the lava and the redstone lamps in the floor, which are my mob deterrent, is the no sand portcullis gate. That's of course something from FedEx Gaming. It locks on the inside so that you can no longer open it from either side, as long as that switch is flipped. And once you flip it back, you can open it and operate it as you can. Gotta be real careful with this one though, because it breaks really easy. You can't hit the button multiple times, otherwise I have to go through the whole thing and fix it again. And then we're going to go through the first redstone thing that I ever built, was just the sliding doors. Everyone has to do that at one point. And now we're at our melon pumpkin farm. It operates on a bud switch, so anytime the melons or the pumpkins grow, they immediately get broken, thrown against the glass, and into the water stream. And since there's no hoppers and droppers, of course there's no automation, because there's no point. So all of it's semi-automatic, including the sugarcane farm, that just pushes some blocks to break all the sugarcane. Now this is more of a recent addition, just to have a little bit more food supplies, just potatoes and carrots. Works on the same way as the most standard of the wheat farms that use pistons just to hold the water back. And of course above it I have the wheat farm that I started with. And all you have to do is pull the lever, the water gets released, it brings everything to you, and you can pick it up and replant it when you're done. Alright, and when you're mining, you get a lot of stuff you don't need. And so I built a room for the incinerator. Of course, using a different redstone door each time. I wanted to learn different things and learn how to incorporate them. So you have the lava wall, I guess. And that's just where you can throw things in if you want. If you want to use a redstone device, just throw it in here, flip the switch, and let it go. I guess this would be a living room. Yes, I know that there's a TV on the wall and my couch is not facing it. I've had multiple people tell me about that, but it was a painting, so I didn't really worry about it at the time. Now we have compact storage using minecarts. You press the button, it pushes the minecart back. The ones up top go down one. It allows you to access a lot of materials without moving anywhere. It's actually quite nice. And I use it for standard mining things like coal and cobblestone, at least I used to. You flip the switch, the doors close on the other side of the painting, which means you can't go through it. And it's inverted on the other side, which allows you to go through the door still, at least in a different area. Now pay close attention to that fireplace. I love this device, and you just, butt up against the wall there. It hits a special switch, doors open, completely flush. Now we're going to head into the obsidian generator in the overflow room. Of course, to use obsidian generators, you just need a redstone or a string, but mine uses redstone. And we're going to go into the overflow room. Keep in mind this is for trap chests, so you can't have chests next to each other. So we're going to take a piece of redstone, and we're going to bring it to the obsidian generator to show this works. Just put it on the ground in front. It's going to drop a piece of lava and make some obsidian. So this obsidian generator, I know for sure, does not work anymore with one of the recent updates. So now we have a standard storage room with some food. Obviously, I've been using a lot of food, or at least stockpiling a lot of food, because people join this world and they would need some food to go and do stuff. And standard construction materials. Not a whole lot in this area. Not anymore. I've been building a lot. And then you hit a button, or a hidden switch. In this case, I used just a button. And you have the more valuable materials. Your books, your slimes, some diamonds, iron, emeralds, things like that. And of course, the diamond armor that you may or may not have enchanted, along with some potions. Now to get out, you just hit the button. It's going to make a staircase, and you jump up. So that door type is called a Jeb door. It's actually one of the easiest doors to make now. And when you close the door, it opens up the lava lamps on the inside, and they're only running when the door is closed. Now to close it, you just butt up against the wall again. And the fireplace is remade. Now, of course, you notice the blinking lights. That's just a standard clock with the redstone torches. And down there is my mining areas. It is unsecured, which means that when this isn't in peaceful and we do mine, it's a little dangerous down there. This is what's called a hipster door. All the redstone is underneath the ground. A lot of the friends really love this door. It's probably their favorite out of all the ones that I built so far. Okay, so now we're going to go to the sheep farm. Now it's just for colored wool for building materials. This is every color in the game, at least at this point. And this is a design from Overlooked ENT. And what you do is you shear the sheep, you push the button, it pushes them up into grass. It works on a bud switch. And so they eat the grass, they regrow their wool, and then it drops them back down again so you can harvest their wool. And the light turns on again. So as long as the light is off, it means they're not ready to be sheared again. And we'll come back to this in a little bit, and hopefully those sheep will have regrown their wool. So now we're going to the chicken coop. So you have chicken on one side that are just for laying eggs, and in order to harvest them, you just hit the button, pushes the eggs forward. If you want to cook the chicken in the other side, you just hit the button, and it's a lava blade, cooks the chicken. Push the another button, and it'll push all the materials forward. And if you want more chickens to eventually cook later, you just hit the switch up here, and it'll launch eggs at the wall to open them up. And you just reload it with the eggs you harvested. Now we have the cow farm, the noisiest place of all. It's really, really annoying how much noise they make. But, you know, it's a standard thing where you go up there, you hit the water, and you feed them wheat so that the cows, the baby cows hit down there, they'll eventually grow and you can cook them later. This is my netherwort farm. I kind of went overboard with it. I have no need for that much netherwort. That's about 4 stacks worth, even after replanting. So let's see if the wool is regrown. And sure enough, all the lights are back on. The sheep have their wool again, and they're ready to be sheared. So I think I'm going to put this back to daytime real fast, and then we'll show the outside of the place. So right here we have the train station. This, of course, uses the minecart station from FedEx Gaming. But the outside is one of the few adaptations that I did myself. If you see in the right-hand corner, you'll see the picture of the Keralis Inspiration series on the train station. You can tell that I borrowed heavily from the idea. It's not exactly the same, but it uses some of the basic concepts of it, involving the bricks and the Victorian theme. I actually was very pleased with the results. So the redstone lamps in the ground, they turn on at night and turn off in the daytime. We didn't have daylight sensors at this time, so they work on grass and a bud switch. So when daytime comes, they eventually turn off. I was more concerned about them turning on at nighttime, so I have multiple daylight sensors down there. One big one by FedEx and a couple small ones by Overlooked. And so if we wait here a little bit, sure enough, they will turn off. But it requires all of them to turn off. And there we go. They're all off now, so let's go inside the minecart station. So if someone's flashing, that means someone's waiting to arrive. We have 3 arrival bays, so technically 4 people can take this at a time. And we have 3 destinations with a reset switch, a departure bay, and a minecart loading zone. So if you input a destination, it's not locked there. You can actually go back and forth. It will only lock when you hit the departure bay. And of course, you can reset these at any point. So let's head to the desert village. This is an NPC village, and it's the only one left alive on the map. There were actually 3 villages in this one world, and unfortunately the other 2 were killed off by zombies. There's nothing left of them, just a ghost town, really. That's one of them right there. That's just a shell of a place. There's nothing actually in that town. And I decided to do what I could to ensure that the last town in this entire world would not die, so I surrounded it with cactus, lights, and made sure that it grew into something large enough to defend itself. Now I decided I wanted something like the old Final Fantasy games from the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy and all that, where you'd have a store, you'd go in, and you'd find the vendors behind the counter. And so that's what I did with some of these buildings here. You'll see the librarians. Then, of course, you have the general store, which has your farmer, your priest for bottles of enchanting, your butcher, your armorer, and another farmer, just for extra emeralds if you needed it. I built a lot of these four-doored buildings just to increase the population of the town, and it got big enough to where it has its own iron golem. So now we're going to head back to the train station. I have to say, this overpass and a lot of the work on the train station took the most time. I remember playing this by myself in a party with a bunch of people just talking as I was going one block at a time to do this. It was actually a little crazy. I will admit that. It took a long time to do this in survival. And to reload the card into the dispenser, you just hit the button, and it'll go all the way around and hit the other side. So now we're going to go to the island keep. Here we go into the longest part, the underwater subway. This involved respiration and aqua affinity, lots and lots of it. And this took an extremely long time to do. That's Jared Craft's design right there. So let's go inside the keep. This train station is underneath it. And I never really finished the interior. That was on my to-do list, but as you can see, it's pretty barren. And on the outside is a dock, an automated dock system. So you bring your boat up, you hit that button, and it puts it up on solid ground so you can get out, walk around. When you're done, you get back in the boat, hit the button, and it launches you out. That's just a look at the outside. I built the island that it stands on, and then I built the castle on top of the island. Okay, so let's go to the medieval village. This was the most recent builds in this entire area. All of these are more appearance-based rather than redstone-based. And what you saw there for a small glimpse was a lighthouse on a tiny island that we went underneath. And we'll get a better picture of that in a little bit. Okay, so this is the Pez dispenser where all the minecarts are. And now we're going to go up a set of stairs here. This will give you an idea of all the redstone behind every single minecart station, all three of them. And since there's no minecart station medieval style, I just made it into a small little fort. Right to the left, you can see the lighthouse that we went under. Let's go back down and out into the medieval village. It was actually never finished completely, because I actually had to build the land that it was on, at least in some parts. So let's start here at the docks. So we have the docks with the crane system for loading and unloading ships. Then we have a small market just surrounding the docks for merchants and things like that. We have a melon stand, a pumpkin stand, I guess a baked goods stand where we have some cakes, some breads, cookies, things like that. Some pumpkin pies, some pumpkin seeds, things like that. Things the merchant would sell. Probably not the seeds, though. Then we have a little storage silo, I guess. There's just nothing. This is all cosmetic. There was really nothing here. I mean, you have a crane that's holding some wood. And we have another storage building. All of these areas here, they're from the Dacker Dale series of Lord Dacker. At least some of the buildings are. So let's go up to the watchtower. This is the highest point of any mountain that I could find, unless you go way out into the wilderness. And so I decided to build this tower on top of it. So you have an observation deck. Can't really see a whole lot though, because this is the tallest point. We're going to go up another floor. We have a small little barracks, some chests, some beds, things like that. And on the top floor, you'd of course have the lookout point. You can see the rest of the tiny little village, along with the minecart station, the lighthouse, the island keep, and the docks, all in the distance. And of course, all of it's well lit up because I really, really don't like to fight mobs. So now we're hitting the village itself, at least what I was building of the village. I carved into the mountain, built supports for the mountain so that there wouldn't be any landslides, things like that. And this is the blacksmith. I actually built this in another world too. Some people should recognize it, just not with the same texture pack, of course. So you have the forge, some storage areas just to kind of fill up the inside a little bit, make it a little bit more homey, and a small second floor for storage and crafting, things like that. And we have a couple little farming houses here with their own tiny farms. This first one has the farms in the backyard, I guess you could say. You know, just small work areas, a fireplace, a bench, some beds, and then of course you have your wheat, your carrots, and your potatoes. And this is the second one. I believe this is from Jaracraft. It's a dwarven style farmhouse. You have the farm in front. Once again, it's a very, very small place. You just have a bed, a crafting table, maybe a chest here and there, a bench, and a fireplace. Now, originally off in the distance, I was going to build the medieval barracks, but that never actually happened. Probably never will at this point. And of course, you have your farmlands on the hills. Some things are still growing because I tend to use these materials quite a bit. So the last things I need to showcase happen to be in the Nether. So we're heading back to what's called the Hill Fortress. That's the original castle, the very first place that I built. How to say, it is still a lot of fun to ride around in this minecart network here. Oh, looks like I forgot something. That was made by a friend of mine, Punch Clock. He did the Assassin's Creed symbol there. I'll show you where I got all my slime balls for all of the sticky pistons and all that. This is where I get all my slime balls. This is a slime farm. If I wasn't in Peaceful, there'd be quite a few down here. And all the glass is just to showcase all the lava I had to go through just to make this big open space. Nothing automated here. At the time, I didn't even know about automated slime farms. Alright, and now we're going to the Nether. Why did it have to rain right at the very end? Oh well. So I happened to get lucky where I placed the gate. I happened to be right on top of the fortress. I actually couldn't believe how lucky that was. This was a room originally for a farm that didn't work, so it's all cleared out now. So to get this farm to work, we're going to start up the conveyor belt. At some point, I should have put the switch up actually near the blaze farm itself, but I decided that I really didn't want to go through the effort. So you go all the way down here, turn on the clock, that starts the conveyor belt up. This is the double blaze farm. This world seed is really, really nice because they're right next to each other. I've never seen another world like that before. I was just really, really lucky about that. So I put the glass down there so you can see the conveyor belt working. It's going to push them into the lava pool. They're going to swim up, and then eventually they're going to go into the crusher itself. So let's speed this up a little bit so we can get a few blaze in there. Okay, and what this lever does is it cuts off the lava flow, it cuts off any blaze from hitting this area once you've done it, and it crushes them. So all three things all the same time. When it's done, you can just punch them a few times and they die. So this last thing, of course, you can tell with the discoloration, that happens to be just a problem with the console version of Minecraft with the stair blocks off to the side. There's a hidden button there, of course, and you have to hit it twice to open it. So even if someone finds it once, they actually have to know to hit it twice in order for anything to work. It opens and closes behind you, which is always nice. This is the ATM machine. This is so that other people aren't able to take other people's stuff. Now you input a code here, 4-digit code, and out pops a minecart chest with your materials in it, and only your materials. Now this one took a very, very long time to dig, to prepare for. So we're going to open up this wall here and just take a look at it. So you have here all the different mine carts that are different people's stuff. And all those in that big, tall structure to the left, that's all the codes. It's able to hold 10 different 4-digit codes. And right now, I think only 6 or 7 people using this ATM machine. So here you see the actual way that it's coded, and I have it labeled for each person. And that's really all. That is my entire Redstone world. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.